Welcome to our second lesson on English grammar, English language, and a complete A to Z English course. This lesson will cover nouns. Nouns are a part of speech, and this is something you must have heard in English time after time. It is probably the most important concept, and that is why you need to understand this first before jumping onto anything else. Now, let's explore what nouns exactly are. Noun, in its classic definition, is a person, place, or a thing. Now, you must have heard this in grade school because this is the real definition and the most important aspect you need to understand. It could be a person, a human being, a place, simply a place, or anything, any physical thing that you see. Let's look at an example. The bird is flying in the sky. Now, in this sentence, the bird is what? It's an animal. And the sky is a place. It's not a place where we go unless you're in an airplane, but it is a place. So the bird and sky are both nouns in this sentence. Remember that. Next time you think about a person, place, or a thing, remember those things are called nouns. Let's look at some examples now to further understand. When we talk about persons, it could be a name. For example, Molly is a person. That's a noun. It could be the captain. Now that is a title, but it is the title of a person. That's a noun as well. Dr. Dawson, it is the job title. Doctor, and then whoever, that's a noun, as well as your job title, flight attendant, teacher, doctor, anything. That also constitutes as a noun. When we talk about places, we got cities like New York City, Mexico, Lake Ontario. It could be, again, a small town, a big place, a city, a country, an island. Those things are nouns as well because they fall into places. Finally, we move on to things. Things would be mango, fruit, and water bottle. That is a thing. House is a big thing, but it still falls under a physical object, which makes it a noun. Remember that, and that should clarify what nouns mean. Now let's look at singular and plural. And again, singular are things that are one, plural are many, right? So if we talk about the cat, that is singular. Plural of that would be cats, okay? Oven would be ovens, plural. Sheep would be sheep. The plural does not have S, and that's where English does not make sense all the time, but it is just the way it is. That's what we would say. It is what it is. There are just some rules that you have to memorize, and there's no answer why it's like that. It's just weird. So sheep, plural would be sheep too. You would have to understand it in terms of the sentence to see if the speaker is talking about singular or plural. Now, glove would be gloves, plural. Blueberry would be blueberries. Remember, when you have Y at the end of a noun or word, and if you want to make it plural, change the Y into IES. So blueberry would become blueberries. Okay? Anything ending with Y would become IES, and that is a general rule you want to follow in English for plural. Another example is knife. Now here, the F changes into VES, knives. And the same thing happens with life. So there's also the ending F, not really the last letter, but it's the ending sound. So whenever it's the ending F sound, you make it VES. So knife becomes knives. All right? Life becomes lives. Alrighty. So something like cherry would become cherries with IES. And those are all nouns which you can convert between singular and plural following these rules. Okay, let's look at our next slide and look at what the two main types of nouns are. They're called common nouns and proper nouns. Again, something that you will hear many times. Common nouns are things like titles, author, movie star, and so on. But when we say proper nouns, these are who the people would be. So an author would be Lewis Carroll. That would be the name of the author, for example. That's a proper noun. Common noun is just the title. Another common noun is movie star. And who's the movie star? Marilyn Monroe. So the actual name Marilyn Monroe would be proper noun. Singer would be common noun. Proper noun of that would be Rihanna if it is Rihanna, the singer we're talking about, and so on. So there's this list. Of course, you can pause the video and check it out further, read it further. But anything without a real name becomes common noun, and with the actual name, it's called a proper noun, and that's where the confusion comes in. If McDonald's, it's a name, should be a proper noun or a common noun. When you're talking about that as a company, it is a common noun. It is not the real name of a person, but if you refer to the owner, the real person, McDonald's, Mr. McDonald's, that would have been a proper noun. Okay? Let's look at an example and test you to see if you understood. Jamaica, the country, has many mountains, rivers, and beaches. Now, pause the video and see how many nouns you see in this sentence. Do you know the answer? If not, we are going to move to the answer now, so you can pause the video if you haven't seen the answers. The answers here are Jamaica, mountains, rivers, and beaches. Jamaica is a proper noun. It is, again, the name, a specific name, and it is a place. Mountains are a place too, but it's not a specific name, so it is a common noun, and it has S, so it's plural. When we talk about rivers, we haven't talked about a specific river, not a name, so it's a common noun, and it's plural. It has S, so it's more than one river. It's also a place, which is why it's a noun. When we talk about beaches, again, it has S, which means it's plural. It doesn't have a name, which means it's a common noun, and it is a place, which means it is a noun. One thing you guys can do is first determine what it is. It's a place, so it has to be a noun. Now, it is a common noun because it doesn't have a name. It is not specific, so it must be a common noun. If it had a name like Jamaica, or the beach, let's say it's Red Beach in Santorini, then that would be a proper noun. Okay, let's get another example and see if you have what it takes to get this right. This restaurant serves the best pizza and different types of salads. Guess what the nouns are. Think about it. Pause the video if you need to, because I will move to the answers right now. And let's go. Here are your answers, guys. In this case, you had 3 nouns. Restaurant, the place, pizza, the thing, and salads, which is also a thing. So you got a common noun. Do you know why it's common? Think about it. It's common, and this is common, and this is common, because all of them are not real names. They're not real places, not real descriptions. Hence, they're all common. At the same time, they are singular, the first 2, and this one, salads, is plural. Why? Because it has an S with it. So guys, that's our lesson on nouns, and these are the key building blocks, because later I'll tell you we have to use a and the before nouns. And when we have nouns after that, how should we construct the sentence? That is all related to nouns. So if you have understood this, you will understand the upcoming lessons as well as everything in English about grammar. If you did not understand this, replay this video and understand this, because our next lesson is verbs. Please subscribe. We'll get into that and discuss more detail. And if you want the best English classes, conversation, and feedback on your performance, check out our details in the description. We have some of the best English teachers who can help you in your learning journey. Until next time, please subscribe, and we'll update you with the next video coming up very shortly.